Compassion for all living things is a guiding principle in my life. In the kitchen, I feel a deep gratitude and respect for all the blessings of abundance in my days, and I cook with that feeling in my heart for each and every meal I prepare. Compassionate cooking is cooking without harming a living thing, and we'll do that today on Christina Cooks the Macroterranean Way. Every time I travel the world, I look for some of the best vegetable-based, plant-based foods that I can find. And every now and then, I'm surprised by what I find, by the depth of understanding, by the uniqueness of the chef. I'm here today with Serenella Monichi, sì, and her restaurant is La Fatta here in Firenze. Serenella's restaurant is based on the philosophy that food has energy. There's a surprise. We know food has energy. And that what we choose to eat creates the person that we are. So it's completely aligned with the way I think about food. Che facciamo? What are we making?
Facciamo il pesto di salvia.
A pesto of sage and almonds.
E semi di zucca.
And pumpkin seeds. Okay.
Dai.
Okay?
Un po'.
Faccio io o...
Vai, fallo te.
Ok.
Vieni, ok. Spostiamolo questo, vai.
Va bene. So dimmi, Serenella, perché questo ristorante? Perché questo moda di ristorante?
Allora, non è proprio una moda. Io è 10 anni che ho il ristorante.
Ok.
Quindi è stata una necessità etica, perché ho voluto dimostrare che si può mangiare bene senza uccidere e far star male anche il pianeta.
Va bene con questo?
Ok, sì.
This is called a mezzaluna. So Serenella said that she kind of had no choice
Ci voleva l'aglio
except to
anche.
open this restaurant because of her ethics when it comes to food. Meaning that the idea of compassionate cooking is in her blood. This is what she's meant to do.
Ci mettiamo anche uno spicchio d'aglio.
Okay, so now we're going to take a piece of garlic.
Devo fare?
Okay.
Va tritato ancora.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that little bit of garlic is going to get blended in with the sage with the mezzaluna to help to create a flavor that's sort of more balanced.
Mettiamo un po' di queste.
And then we add a little bit of blanched almonds for the pesto. Mia nonna ha fatto pesto tutta mia vita, mai con blender, sempre a mano.
Esatto.
E in casa mia, sempre a mano.
Sempre a mano.
Sempre a mano. So we were just saying that when I was growing up, my grandmother from Naples always made pesto, always, various pestos, but always by hand. She said the flavor was better, and Serenella agrees the flavor is better. Much better, much better. And now we're going to mix into this some extra virgin olive oil and the juice and the rind of an orange. Anche scorza o solo?
Anche scorza, un pochino.
So just a little bit of orange juice, and what this is going to do is lift up the flavor of the sage, and then a tiny bit of orange zest. And she's carefully taking away the pith because she doesn't want any bitterness.
Tagli.
Okay, we're just going to cut this into small pieces. Così?
Yes.
Più piccolo?
No, ma è uguale. Anche questo poi.
Okay.
Poi ci mettiamo un po' di sale.
A little bit of salt.
Un po' di sale.
Okay. And now we just mix this together. Oh, che profuma.
Vero.
It's amazing. You smell the orange and the oil and even the almonds and the garlic and the sage, of course, is amazing. So now we're going to sort of saute the rice. Senza olio or con olio.
Un pochino di
With
olio.
a little bit of oil. So the rice is totally cooked, but what she's doing with a little bit of oil is just sort of warming it up. It's almost a small version of fried rice. And then she'll put a little bit of the pesto in.
Pesto.
Mix it up. Ma
Un
la
po' deve
profuma is amazing. The smells in this kitchen are so complex and beautiful and fresh. And you're just going to cook this until it warms through. It's not like it's a big process. Around 20 minutes it takes to cook the rice. So even if you're slow in chopping, while the rice is cooking, you make your pesto, put it all together, and you have this lovely, nutritious dish.
La mandorla sostituisce il parmigiano.
And the sì, certo. And the almonds are her substitute for Parmigiano cheese that gives you that richness that we expect when we eat pesto. And that's it. Turn off the flame, and so it just gets served up. And what Seranella's doing now is serving the rice in a way that's more beautiful. Yes, you can just put a pile on the plate. You can, absolutely. But doing it this way, you go to a kitchen store, you buy a flan ring. That's what it's called. You put your rice inside, you press a little bit, and it's the difference between gorgeous and just a pile of rice on your plate. A little bit of oil, and then you taste.
Non so se è giusto di sale, senti un po'.
È buonissimo. It's completely balanced. The rice is chewy. You would swear there was cheese inside. The sage is gorgeous. Buonissimo. Buonissimo. Grazie. I always learn from you. Grazie, grazie. And so now you see, once again, I'm not the only chef who thinks that the energy of food is supremely important, because it is. And when you eat food that's appropriate for you energetically and physically, you can lead your best life. I love cooking with Serenella. She always brings me right back to center of what it means for conscious cooking. And what could be a better transition to conscious cooking than sausage and pepper sandwiches? Wait, what? Trust me, these are conscious. They're plant-based, and you're gonna love this dish. So we are going to light a burner with some olive oil, some extra virgin olive oil. Please use really good extra virgin olive oil, please. And then we're gonna take these little plant-based sausages that look scarily like sausage, but that's okay because I know what's in them. And then we're gonna let those start to brown over the heat. Then as they start to come to a sizzle, you'll notice I didn't really heat the oil because I want the flavor of the extra virgin olive oil, and if you heat it, that flavor can go away. So we're gonna just put that there. Do you hear the sizzle already? All right, so now we're gonna take and smash a whole clove of garlic. Sometimes it works better than others. Okay. You want to be stubborn? You can be stubborn. Garlic's allowed to be stubborn. We're just going to need one clove, and I'm going to use it, as we say, sort of in Italian, in its dress, which means still in its, what we call in America, its paper, its wrapper. Just cut the little bit of the rough bottom off, and that's going to go into my other skillet with some extra virgin olive oil. We're going to put that on heat. And while the garlic begins to sort of simmer in the oil, we're going to take a pepper and put that on a burner over very high heat and roast it. This is how you roast a pepper, for once you get to consciously burn something. So go for it. We're going to take these little guys and turn them because they're starting to brown. There we go. And the pepper's going to turn really charred dark. And when it's done, they'll go into a sack, sit for 10 minutes, and then they'll come out and they'll look like this, right? All charred, the seeds are there, beautiful. With our garlic, which is simmering away, some people take the garlic out, which I'll do at the end. We're going to take some yellow onions, cut into half moons. And now we'll start to season. Pinch of salt. And we're going to let these sweat. Rather than actively saute, I'm going to let the onions sweat a little bit. Now, I'm also going to take some raw pepper. You can use all roasted, you can use all raw. I don't like a lot of raw peppers because of the solanine, which is an alkaloid that lives just below the surface of the skin, which is one of the reasons that we roast peppers, not only for the smoky taste, but that alkaloid affects people's joints. But in this case, since I'm going to cook it for a while, and I kind of want differentiated texture, I'm going to use a little bit of raw pepper that I cook, as well as the roasted pepper that I cook. And that's going to go on top of our onions and garlic. It's just a quick chop. This dish is not fancy. This is very rustic. I grew up on a dish like this. We're going to put these little sausages on a lower flame so that they sort of now just simmer in the oil before they go on top of our veg. And if they stick a little bit, that's okay. Don't panic, it's all good, okay? Next, I'll take my roasted peppers and just give those a quick rough chop. And they go right on top, no escapees. And now we start to stir. And this is going to sort of saute, simmer in the oil with the garlic clove or two until the onions wilt. Now we'll come over here with tongs, please use tongs, and check our pepper. And as it starts to blacken, you just keep turning it. And as you turn it, it gets darker and darker and darker. Now we'll take some plum tomatoes, maybe a little bit of a coarse chop. We quartered them, but let's make them a little more bite-sized. We're going to do 2 batches of those. When you make something like sausage and peppers, whether it's vegan or not vegan, you want to use a lot of veg. It's really not about, it's about the combination of the 2 things. Okay. Now we're going to season this up. You can go light on your salt. You don't need a ton. You want to remember that salt is used to bring out the flavor. Salt should not be used to make your food salty. But you see the colors building here in this dish. And you don't want the onions to color very much. You want them to kind of maintain their texture so that there's a little bit of crunch because the sausages themselves are a little bit soft. And they're going to go right on top. I'm going to give this a tiny stir and just let the flavor of the veg sort of build into the sausage. Because plant-based meats can be less flavorful than sort of the real thing. So what you want to do is get some flavor with the veg and count on that. So now we're going to take our filling, take one of our little sausages, put some more veg on top. And we're just going to continue to build these little sandwiches so that everybody gets their own bite. Be careful not to put the garlic in there unless you peeled it, because it'll just be a weird mouthfeel. And we're going to build these sandwiches up. And there you go. Conscious sausage and peppers. So what are you waiting for? Let's get back to the cutting board, and I'll see you next time on Christina Cooks, the Macroterranean Way.